Welcome to Waywut, your weekly verbal double take. This is a rabbit hole podcast where a couple of old guys do moderate to shallow dives into various topics, ranging from true crime, paranormal, sports, pop culture, or anything else that we find interesting. We drop episodes every Tuesday, and then on Fridays if we feel like it. You can follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram. We appreciate you joining us. Now that we got all this self-promotion stuff out of the way, here we go. Welcome. This is yet again another episode of Waywut. I keep running out of ways to do that. I don't like doing the hello.
Yeah, I got rid of mine too.
My name is Darrell. This is my episode today. I'm in charge. And here I am with the guy that cannot wait for me to die because he's been working on my eulogy since high school. Jason.
Oh, well, you're halfway right.
You talk about my eulogy a lot.
That's what I mean. I have been working on it, but I'm not ready for you to die.
I guess just because you're not finished with it yet. I mean, you
No.
seem like you're looking forward to it.
It's going to be epic. But I'm probably going to die before you, so that's not going to matter.
Let's not talk about that stuff. Well, in the spirit of not talking about death, I'm going to have a funeral rant.
All right. It's a way to get away from it.
There are 3 things that I hate attending: weddings, graduations, and funerals.
Right there with you.
I'll complain about the first 2 another time. Today, I'm going to focus on funerals. Why do I hate funerals? The first reason is obvious. I don't like it when people that I know die. Kind of sucks. The second reason kind of goes along with the first. I don't like being around a bunch of people that I know while they're sad.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You see different sides of people you don't want to see.
Well, I haven't come across that stuff too much. I just don't like seeing people that I care about being sad.
That's what I mean. Some people you don't need to see sad.
Yeah. The final reason is the one that gets under my skin the most because it's the one thing that doesn't have to be a part of it. I hate when whatever preacher or minister or fucking witch doctor, shaman, whatever, uses the corpse of someone that I care about as a soapbox to try to get people to go to their church.
Holy crap, you are so right.
Oh, now don't get me wrong. If you go to a church and you want a person from that church presiding over your funeral, then by all means, yes, have them there.
Uh-huh.
A church is a community, and that person presiding over that church and over that funeral should be a part of that community. And whenever it's somebody that actually, yes, he was in my congregation, I've known him forever, it's a bit more of a palatable experience.
Yes.
This is more about folks like me that don't really go to church. Now, I have made it very clear that to people, like my wife and stuff, that I don't want some guy from some church that I don't go to preaching at my funeral.
Nope.
I mean, I've said it before on here. I'm a really bad Catholic. But I wasn't always Catholic. That came later in life. I wouldn't expect nor want a priest at my funeral because the priest that I knew and respected and I went to his church, he's dead now. And so the one guy that I would want to do it, he's gone. Furthermore, as far as Catholicism is concerned, I'm no good anymore anyways because I got divorced and remarried. And, I do not consider my life with my wife as a sin, so I do not seek forgiveness for it. Therefore, I'm a bad Catholic, and I wouldn't be able to have a sacramental funeral anyways, because I'm obviously hellbound.
You couldn't wear white at your wedding either.
Which one? Now, this does not come from a place of not liking organized religion, which I'm not going to lie, I do have plenty of problems with organized religion. This comes from attending funerals and hearing some guy that had no idea who the dead person was. And since they don't know who they were, they barely mention them. And then just take advantage of the fact they have this captive audience to preach a sermon.
Yep.
I'm not there for you. I'm there for my friends, my family, and the person in the box. That's what they are supposed to be there for. But obviously, they don't give a shit.
Nope. I'm glad you're bringing this up. I've thought about this for a while.
And you have one reason to, because yours is one that I'm not going to bring. I wasn't going to bring it up specifically in this rant, but yeah, it's one of them that fuels this. Is what your dad, what happened with your dad?
Yes.
Now, I've been to a couple of funerals where the preacher did not know the dead person, but they did spend a lot of time talking to people and getting to know just like stories about them and things that they would, that the family would want him to say. And it was really nice. I mean, there was, there's some family members of mine up in Kentucky where there's this, there's a preacher up there who I'm happen to be going on a cruise with here soon.
Oh, just you and him, huh?
No, he's from my uncle's church, and I'm going on we're going on a cruise with my uncle, and that preacher's going with him. But this dude's great because like he didn't know some of these family members that died, and what he did is he got family members to write stories down, like little anecdotes and stuff, and he went up there and read that. That was awesome.
Good way of doing it. Yeah.
But, this is this one specific guy that I've only seen at a couple different funerals. I've been to other funerals. Say there was one I know I went to where this preacher never met the dead guy, and he kept saying the dead guy's name wrong. Not mispronouncing it. He said a completely different name a few times till somebody in the audience shouted out, "It's blah, blah, blah," and said what the right name was.
Oh, my goodness.
And then this was the one that's kind of related to you. I've been to one where the guy spent the time up there and made sure that he mentioned his church about 10 times because he was not going to pass up the chance to advertise for everybody to come to his church so that they could give him money.
No,
I did not appreciate that.
No. Nope, you're not the only one.
Yeah, that was granted, I have, as odd as it's going to sound, I have some fond memories of your dad's funeral.
Well, I understand what you mean. I have some fond
memories of your dad's death.
I understand what you mean.
Us drinking beer at a church parking lot was awesome.
Talking about him, yeah.
And us talking shit about the funeral parlor for what to take the beer out of his casket. And we're like, fuck you.
No. It was up there. It was going to stay up there.
And if I recall correctly, we did bitch about this guy that I bitched about just now on here. Also, shortly after.
Yeah. I mean, my dad never went to church, so having a preacher come up there and talk about his life was not right. But that's something we really didn't have much control over because of the other side of the family.
Well, and I think whenever it comes to that, I mean, I'm cool with some of them doing it because they have experience doing it. But like I said, it's like that guy that my uncle's preacher, he's awesome. Like I said, he took time and he put an effort in, even though he didn't know them personally, where he still personalized it and he made it about them. I mean, of course, he threw in all of his Jesus-y stuff and whatnot, but it didn't feel like he was using my dead family members to try to, get people into his church so they could give him money. Yeah. At your dad's funeral, it absolutely felt like that. Yeah. And if our former classmate who happens to be married to that guy hears this and gets pissy about it, fuck off. I mean, we like you and all, but seriously, what he did was it was cringy and douchey and gross. We'd still love you. We just don't really care about that guy. Yeah, instead of mourning or comforting, people when in a situation like that, I find myself just absolutely disgusted the entire time. And I get fixated on being pissed off about something. And whenever, especially when I have something like that where I can just focus on this jackass that's gruesome enough to use the end of a life that mattered to all these people for their own benefit. So and I get focused because that's what I do. And if I get irritated, I'm not good at letting shit go. Every time somebody's like, "If you get mad, just let it go," and I'm like, I don't even know what that fucking means. So I get focused on that. So yeah, I don't like funerals. Which brings me to today's episode that was brought to us by one of our viewers on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they suggested looking into some news, a few news articles involving a bad funeral home. And I did, and it was interesting.
All right.
And while looking into the one they suggested, I came across some more bad funeral homes. So let's explore some funeral homes that did some shady shit.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're surprised that some place called like Shady Rest does shady shit, isn't it
That's
not
on
you?
Yeah, that's on you.
Well, we're going to start with the one that Alexa told us about on YouTube. Cloverport Funeral Home is in Cloverport, Kentucky. Another funeral home in that area of Kentucky is J.B. Ratterman and Sons. And what they did is they would offer cremations, J.B. Ratterman and Sons, but they didn't have a crematory to actually burn up the dead bodies. So when someone would bring a body to J.B. Ratterman and Sons and ask them to cremate them, they would outsource it to Cloverport Funeral Home since they actually had cremation equipment. I mean, so that's not the shady part.
I thought you were going with a barrel in the backyard. Okay.
No, nothing like that. JB Ratterman's they're just like, hey, we want to make sure that our customers have access to this service. We don't have it. So if somebody once says, hey, Cloverport, we'll pay you to do it. And then, you get your cut, we get our cut, and the person's burnt up. Everybody's happy. Except for, the people mourning the loss. So they would give Cloverport a body. They would get back some ashes, and then J.B. Ratterman and Sons would give said ashes to the family. That seemed fine until two families that went through Ratterman for cremation services were concerned that they did not, in fact, get their loved ones' actual ashes. So let's rewind a little bit. In December 2023, Ira Eisen died. His family signed the body over to Ratterman for cremation, who then passed it on to Cloverport for cremation, just like I was talking about earlier. According to the attorney for Ira's family, they weren't given ashes. They were given soil. They got dirt. Ratterman's has since reported the actual cremains, the ashes, as missing. And Ira's family is suing Ratterman and Cloverport, and rightfully so. This is all still ongoing, like right now. So don't expect any resolutions when it comes to Cloverport. I just think it's kind of crazy that it's like, oh, yes, here you go. And here they give you like an urn full of dirt.
Topsoil.
Yeah.
You got a bag of it in their office.
Hey, that's the good kind. It's got Miracle Grow in it.
My question is, how did they? As if you were getting ashes back from a loved one, would you inspect them, or would you just expect it to be ashes?
All right. Being that I've only ever cremated my cat, I will say I did look at the ashes.
Okay.
And I'll go into a little bit more detail on some of these processes a little later in, which will also kind of help shine a light on this. All right. Another case, also in December 2023, Charlotte Hinkle died. Her husband, George Hinkle, wanted Ratterman to handle the cremation. He knew Ratterman personally, and he trusted him. Ratterman passed the body off to Cloverport, and then the family, for whatever reason, I don't know if they had like a ghost talk to him or whatever, they get suspicious. Their lawyer got a cremation specialist to inspect the remains that they got, and these actually appear to be human ashes. However, when a body is put into a crematory, there is a metal tag that is put with the body. A matching metal tag is kept outside of the machine. So when the cremation is complete, you take the ashes and the metal tag that was burned up with it, along with the ashes with the tag on the outside. Boom, we know these are these remains.
Yeah.
So you can match those tags up. You got matching tags. Boom. They give the families those tags. Typically, they will give those tags over to the family, saying, "Hey, here was the one on the outside. Here was the one on the inside. These matched up. Here's your dead relative. Well, what's left of them." The cremation specialist that the attorney hired to look through it found no tag in the ashes, and the family never received a tag. So they have ashes. They just can't be sure whether or not they're the right ones. You can't DNA test it. And I mean, for all I know, like I said, I have no idea what made them suspicious, if it's just like stories about what was going on or whatever. But the fact remains, in the end, they don't know what they got.
Man, maybe somebody cleaning out their fire pit.
While trying to figure out what made these families suspicious, I did some further research into Cloverport. In January of 2024, a month after those two people died, so this might have been the reason why they started looking at their family's remains to make sure it was right. The Kentucky Attorney General found that Cloverport Funeral Home was not registered or licensed for cremations.
Oopsie.
Yeah, it turns out that even though they actually had the equipment, but they didn't have the license, that Cloverport Funeral Home had performed 290 illegal cremations.
So keep piling them in there.
Yeah. So, Attorney General does their thing, files charges. They fined Cloverport $2,000 per illegal cremation for a grand total of $580,000. So they got over a $500,000 fine for burning up people without a license.
Wow. Did it say how long their license expired for? While they
When
were
that
doing
expired, they just never had one.
Oh, they never had one.
If this was an expiration thing, I wouldn't be making a big deal about it. No, essentially they bought a people burner
Off Craigslist or something.
Well, no, because
eBay.
There's still more to tell here.
Okay.
Well, what's really fun is that fine and the trial had to be issued in absentia, since the owner of the Cloverport Funeral Home did not show up to court. He refused to show up. The owner of the Cloverport Funeral Home is a man named Anthony Oxendine. Oxendine is also the previous owner of Spring Valley Funeral Home, that had two locations, one in New Albany, Indiana, and one in Louisville, Kentucky. However, he's not the former owner because he sold them. He's the former owner because he transferred ownership. Now, why would someone transfer ownership of a business without, selling it? In 2016, Anthony Oxendine was denied a funeral director's license in Indiana. So in order to keep that business open, he needed to put someone else's name on that business, preferably somebody that actually had a license to do that. Also, this all this kind of matters because this guy's developing this reputation. The state of Kentucky decides to do an inspection of his Louisville location, where they found 19 cremated remains of people. The oldest set of remains being from someone who died in 1978.
I told you they let their fireplace get backed up.
Funeral homes typically try not to keep dead people. You don't want that. You don't want to keep their remains just hanging around.
No, that's like the leftovers that get pushed to the back of your fridge.
Yeah, so the state shut down that funeral home. This is that Spring Valley one. This is the other one he owned. They shut down that location and began trying to hunt down the next of kin for all of those people that had been just kind of kept there. I mean, I kind of wonder if it was one of those things saying, no, you get no ashes until you pay me. You still got 14 payments of $19.99.
Yeah, from Klarna.
Yeah. Now, as for Oxendine, that's kind of it, because Oxendine has not showed up for any lawsuits or any of the court dates for any of the potential crimes that were committed. He just hasn't shown up. I haven't seen anything about him being arrested, or even if any criminal charges outside of those illegal cremations has been filed. Maybe there's a chance that we could learn more about him if he runs for office again.
What?
This god-awful worst funeral director ever has run for coroner and mayor of Louisville. But fortunately, he lost both of those.
Man. The coroner one, he could have fit right in. I'm talking about him eventually.
Only if he's a bad one.
Well,
I mean, my uncle makes it sound cool. Of course, he's about to get out of the coronering thing. He's actually running for a magistrate position right now. So he's running for a judge, be a judge, but not
which
like
county?
the lawyer kind, the kind that don't have a law degree. Magistrates.
Which county?
I ain't saying, because I'm not sure if me mentioning him would be a good thing or not. I don't want to bring down his campaign. They're like, hey, your nephew said that, we should fucking vote for you. And he said it specific. Hey, go vote for my fucking uncle. And, they'd be like, I don't think they would see that as a shining endorsement. So now this next one I'm going to fly through. And it's only because I'd feel dumb for, not mentioning this one, because this one's pretty well known. Because there's like documentaries or, episodes from like true crime shows and stuff about this one. And it's been in the news quite a bit. The Return to Nature Funeral Home opened up in Colorado Springs in 2017.
Terrible name, by the way.
Oh, there's a reason it's that. I will get to it.
Okay.
The owners, Jon and Carrie Hallford, were cashing in on all of the hippie environmentalist nonsense that is all over fucking Colorado by offering green burials, hence Return to Nature. Right. In the fall of 2023, the sheriff's department responded to a smell complaint from a building that was owned by the funeral home. It wasn't like the funeral home itself. It was a building they had like in another town called Penrose, Colorado. Cops get there, they smell the stink, and they find the source, which happened to be 190 rotting corpses.
Oh my gosh.
I have to assume that you would figure that out pretty quickly. Death and decomposition has a very, very distinct smell.
Yeah.
That is not a smell that you mistake for anything else. You smell something dead and rotten, that is a smell that sticks with you forever. That
Very
anytime you
true.
smell it, you're like, something's dead. And you know it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very distinct. You're very right.
Yeah. After getting forensics out there, they began identifying the bodies. Some of the bodies that they found had been out there rotting for 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
Now, why in the world would anyone do this? Well, the Heltfords aspired to have a certain type of lifestyle. You know, the kind of lifestyle that involves fancy jewelry, nice cars, vacations, cryptocurrency, and the ever awesome laser body sculpting. I mean, seriously,
Oh.
if I could laser this shit off, I'd let some corpses
Oh
rot.
yeah. Sculpt me, baby.
Well, they figured out a way to eliminate some of the overhead that was involved with their funeral home business. You don't have to pay, a crematorium or pay to operate a crematory if you just give the people that paid you random ashes. Like, hey, here's some ashes. Put some more in. You can keep their casket money if you don't bury the box.
Yeah. Keep
And
reselling it.
and honestly, I don't know how they pulled this part off, but that's what they were kind of doing because they also didn't bury the body. I mean, and sometimes whenever they would actually bury a body, it wasn't even the right one.
Good grief.
So, you'd be mourning over like Aunt Selma or whatever, and it was like Crackhead Joe that was in the box. Once the 190 dead bodies were found, the police sought out the Haltfords to ask them some questions. However, the Haltfords got this sudden, spontaneous urge to turn off their cell phones and go on just a spontaneous road trip. They were found in Oklahoma nearly a month later, and subsequently they were arrested. Once arrested, they had to go to court a lot. The families of the dead bodies that were found in that building, the families of all the dead people, they sued the Halfords and were eventually awarded $950 million. I guess the judge was like, $1 billion is just excessive. Calm down.
Give it
So,
everything.
essentially,
Yeah.
you got like 190 families suing, divided up, 950 million. I think they're still doing all right. Essentially, though, the reason that they even did that just gigantic number is to make sure that the Haltfords will never earn an extra dime for the rest of their lives. It was kind of like with the OJ thing, when Ron Goldman's and family was suing him for wrongful death, is because they wanted to make sure that he didn't get to live well. All right. So aside from the civil court, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, how were the bodies stored? Were they just thrown into a big building, or
Yeah.
were they like
Yeah.
just in piles?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
These people didn't they weren't organized. They're like, well, I mean, we're gonna let them rot, but let's make sure we put them in alphabetical order and nice little shelves.
I
No,
didn't know if they had them lined up or
chucked them
anything.
checked them in a room, chucked them in. They obviously had no respect for it.
Damn.
Well, outside of the civil court case, when the family sued them, they had to appear in state court with the state of Colorado charging them with 191 counts of abusing a corpse. Both of the Halfords took plea deals. Jon got 20 years in prison, and Carrie has not been sentenced at the time of this recording, but it is said that it should be between 15 and 20 years.
Equality.
Then the federal government said, hey, I want a piece too. During COVID, the Halfords received $900,000 in COVID relief to keep their business afloat. The, the feds indicted them for misspending that $900,000, essentially for
Duh.
fraud. They didn't use it to actually keep the business afloat or pay people or do the actual thing that was necessary of, burying and cremating people. They just took the money and was like, woohoo, vacations. I'm buying a PlayStation 5, whatever.
Yep. Thank you very much.
In that case, Jon and Carrie also took a plea agreement. Jon got 20 years for defrauding customers and conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which whenever you get a federal charge outside of a state charge, I don't think those even can run concurrently. So it's going to be consecutive. So he would be like, "Yay, I'm out of Colorado prison," and it's like, "Oh, the feds are like, okay, cool, now you're going into ours."
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it came to Carrie, she initially took a plea agreement, but then changed her mind about it and withdrew her plea. Her trial is, she's like, maybe I can beat this. Her trial is
Blame on the
scheduled
husband.
for, yeah, probably. Her trial is scheduled for February 2026, so we won't know the results until then because, it's not February right now. If you want to know more than just the abridged version that I gave you, there is an episode from the show The Curious Case of, it's called The Curious Case of, and it's about them. The episode is called The Funeral Home of Horrors. I haven't seen it, but people online said it looked good. There's so many times like I almost watch documentaries about topics I'm going to go over, but I'm always afraid it's going to skew my vision on things because documentaries are very good at being convincing.
Oh my God! Yes, they are, especially on Netflix. Holy crap!
God, remember Blackfish? And everybody was all like, "Fuck SeaWorld!" after Blackfish came out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this next one is very recent and very local to us. May 28th, 2025, so not that long ago. Employees at a laundry service in Shreveport, Louisiana, believed that they found a doll wrapped in the linens. So you got this little laundry company, like industrial laundry stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's a doll wrapped up in linens." Upon closer examination, they realized that was not a doll. They found a dead baby.
Oh my gosh.
The Shreveport police arrived on the scene and began their investigations. Investigators found that the baby had been embalmed. So that's not normal for corpses that you find in non-corpsey places.
Yeah.
They were able to discover the baby's identity, which we do not have. But what we do know is that it was an infant that was stillborn in Dallas, Texas on May 3rd. The funeral for the baby was on May 17th at Golden Gate Funeral Home in Dallas, Texas. The remains of the baby were supposed to be cremated, but according to the Shreveport Police Department, the remains were mistakenly transported along with the soiled linens.
Why was it wrapped in a sheet to begin with? Is that how they do?
That's the thing. Them? It's like, so, all right. What I'm guessing happened here because they embalmed it. And I have to go by guesses because the funeral home's obviously not wanting to talk about this shit. They embalmed the baby for a kind of a viewing, an open casket, because, it's a dead baby. People are still going to be like, "Oh my God, so sweet, so sad, whatever," and they want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But burying, caskets and all that is expensive. Cremations tend to be a bit more affordable. So they, then take the baby out of the display box, and rather than, putting the body in the cremation pile, apparently it might have got just, have you ever like pulled a bunch of sheets out of the dryer and like they all pile inside the inside the fitted sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But somehow, baby got tossed out with the dirty clothes
Oh my gosh.
and hauled off to Louisiana for the industrial laundry to clean.
I do have a quick question. You
Uh-huh.
said they only embalmed it because they was doing a showing. That it's not
Well,
normal to
that's my
embalm it and then
guess.
burn.
Typically, I imagine you don't embalm bodies that are cremated, but I
Yeah, it
don't
seemed like
know.
a
I'm
wasted
not a funeral
step.
director. I mean, you were married to somebody that aspired to be that, at one point in your life. I mean, I figured you'd probably know more about this shit than I did. That's
No,
just
no. I just can't believe somebody would lose track of a baby wrapped up in a sheet.
well, you might believe it here in a little bit. Shreveport PD went on to notify the Texas Funeral Service Commission to report the incident with them. Essentially saying, "Hey, this funeral home accidentally gave us a dead baby. Thought you should know." The Texas Funeral Service Commission began their own investigation. Now, while the Texas Funeral Commission has not released any information about the results of their investigation, they did advise that they were already actively investigating the Golden Gate Funeral Home because they already had over 1,400 complaints about them.
Oh, whoa. That's a lot of
1,000,
complaints.
yeah, 1,400. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, one, I was like, man, there's a lot of dead people going through that place. And then on
Yeah,
top, I mean, I can't, I can't imagine all 1,400 of them are all the customers they had over the past couple years, and they managed to piss off every customer so bad they complain about them.
wow.
One of
At what
these,
point do you shut them down?
I don't know, but I'll get to that too. One of these, one of these complaints they were investigating involved a man named Sherman Trotter who died in December of 2022. As of June 2025, his family still hasn't received his ashes. And as far as I could tell, the lawsuit that's pending on this also hasn't been settled yet. I did not find any more recent news or articles about the Golden Gate Funeral Home since June 2025. Everything that I read, about these issues and complaints, most recent article is June 2025. So whatever is ongoing, I hope they get that shit sorted out soon. The thing that really, kind of caught me off guard is while researching the Golden Gate Funeral Home, I found lots and lots of recent obituaries. So people are still using them.
I
Like
gotta
right
keep
now.
on.
I guess. I mean, seriously though, do some research, people. Don't just hand your loved ones' corpses over to strangers. At least look at their Yelp reviews, something. I mean, just in general, I mean, like I figure even if it's a funeral home that doesn't have a bunch of like investigations and bad news articles around, I mean, you're still going to cross your fingers and hope for the best. I mean, it's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's really the moral of the story out of this episode. Do your fucking research. Please. Do your fucking research.
Yeah, you would think they would all be very similar in what they offer. It's a very simple service. We take your loved one, we take care of him or her, give you a service, and then put them in the ground or cremate them. Pretty simple model, and yet it doesn't seem like they can go by it.
Well, it's kind of funny. Like, you think about, like, a lot of TV shows and movies that tend to stereotype funeral parlor people as weird.
Uh-huh.
They always seem a little bit off whenever it's in the movies and stuff. This kind of shit don't help that reputation at all.
No.
Because even I have to say, you gotta have a little bit of weirdness in you to
Yes.
do that. I mean, like
Yes.
even like with my uncle, doing his work with the coroner that he's done, and I couldn't do that. I would want to. I mean, I would be so skinny though because I'd be puking all the fucking time. I would be so thin.
No,
Wouldn't be able to eat anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. You'd be desensitized to a dead body. You would just see it as another dead body. And you'd be like, oh,
I don't
God,
know if
I'm
I
so
could
busy today. I got 15 dead bodies to go do. And
I mean, I've heard stories about bodies popping like water balloons. Just nasty, like a body cooking in a hot car during the summer over the course of a couple days, and it swells up a lot. And whenever they try to get it out, it popped like a fucking water balloon. And just even the thought of it makes me like queasy. So I think there's certain things that, no matter what, you wouldn't be able to get used to it.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe not.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm going to call this one Dead and Buried. I'm not going to name the episode that, but I'm going to say it's over. It's Dead and Buried. Join us next time when Jason, if he isn't too busy practicing his interpretive dance that he'll want to do at my funeral, if he's done rehearsing that, he will tell us. Is it sexy? If he's done with his rehearsals, he'll tell us about some stuff that'll make us say, wait, what? Bye, everybody.
Later.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Waywut. This show's available on YouTube, Good Pods, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. We love to hear from you. Please comment on what you just listened to, pass along episode ideas, or just talk to us at Waywut Podcast in our Facebook group or on TikTok, Instagram, or X. Again, we really appreciate you joining us. Come back again to hear about some stuff that will make you say, wait, what?